Subscribe to our YouTube channel to hear exclusive interviews, game highlights, along with thoughts and comments from King James Radio Network founder Korbid Thompson, including rants about his beloved New York Mets.
Hey guys, Korbid Thompson here for the King James Radio Network at jamesisking.com. I am actually here on Raiders Field. I'm right in front of the scoreboard here on Raiders Field here in North Brunswick, New Jersey, as we do a little preview of the 2019 North Brunswick Lady Raiders softball team. This is our preview where, normally this used to be our Raiders Rewind segment. We used to have a segment or a show called Raiders Rewind, back in the early days of the King James Radio Network, where we would talk about, do previews or do whatever. And so we kind of, gone away from that and just do individual previews. So that's why we're here. This is the scoreboard back here behind the left field fence here at Raiders Field. This is actually the 5th season now of Raiders Field here in North Brunswick. And so I don't think they're going to be doing anything to commemorate the 5th anniversary or anything like that. The Lady Raiders started playing here in 2015, and the record at Raiders Field has not been good. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. It's like 9-23, something like that. The record is here on this field. So the Lady Raiders will be trying to turn that around with a vengeance come this year. And, it all starts at home come Monday when they take on Sayreville to open up the season. And then right after that, a couple of days after that, they'll be here again against South Plainfield. So that's the schedule of the early part of the season here for this Lady Raiders team. Of course, they are under a new head coach. Mary Rossi takes over as the new head coach for the Lady Raiders after Sarah Diller steps down after 21 seasons with North Brunswick. So Lady Raiders now will have their first new head coach since 1998. And high expectations here for the softball team. And it's been a long time since, you've been able to say that with the softball program. High expectations for the Lady Raiders this year. And part of that high expectations is the lineup. The lineup, you hope 1 through 8, 1 through 9. You hope that you're seeing hits and home runs all over the place. And really at the heart of that lineup is senior catcher Kayla Shear. Had 4 homers last year, hit over 400 for the Lady Raiders, and she has 72 career hits, 28 away from that magic number of 100. So you, of course, hoping for another big year for Kayla. She says that the shoulder, that she was dealing with some shoulder injury things last year. She says she's good to go, and so you'll see Kayla behind the plate. Back behind the plate. She DH'd pretty much exclusively last year. So back behind the plate this year for Kayla, where she can run and gun and throw people out. And so that's obviously a huge plus for North Brunswick here, is to have Kayla Shear, back behind the plate. And even if something happens to Kayla, you have a competent second option with Adriana Barnes behind the plate as well. And Adriana, showed, especially again in the game against Perth Amboy last year, where she hit her first varsity home run, which was a grand slam, that she can handle herself with the bat. So again, this is going to be a lineup that 1 through 9 with Veronica Giraldo at the top of the order. This is going to be a lineup that should be a formidable one for North Brunswick here. Giraldo at the top. And then, Allison Ward in the 2-hole. Ward, can slap it or swing, either way. And here in the preseason, you started to see Allison take more swings. I think she kind of slapped more last year. I think this year being a little more aggressive and taking more swings this year so far from what I've seen in the preseason with her. And then in the 3 spot, probably we'll see Shear in the 3 spot. Maybe has Shear hitting cleanup at times. And then because you got Adriana, you got Barnes to protect Shear in the lineup. So that'll probably be your 3-4 is Shear and Barnes. And then Mia Santiago after that in the 5. Mia, very good first baseman, is able to save some infield errors over there. And also, her big hit last year was the game-tying hit in the 11th inning against South Plainfield last year. And so Mia not scared of those clutch situations, which is obviously very important. And, so like I said, she bats left, she throws right. So Or check, I'm sorry, I got it backwards. She bats right and throws left. I have it completely backwards. But again, very good at first base. So I'm not anticipating a lot of errors, if any at all, from Santiago at first base. And like I said, a competent hitter at the plate as well. Moving right down the lineup, you got now 6 through 9. You might see some movement there in the 6 through 9 spots. I think the top 5 are pretty much solidified, but I think you might see some movements in the 6 through 9. Probably Anaya Isaac in the 6th spot to start the year. And Anaya, her big thing is going to be her speed. Going to have to use her speed to get on base and that type of thing. So you want to see that from Anaya, is putting the ball in play, using her speed, forcing the defense into some mistakes, and allowing her to take the extra base, things like that. Or when she's on first base, being able to take second, or going from first to third on a hit, things like that. That's where you want to see the speed of Anaya Isaac coming into play. So you have that. And then, like I said, 7 through 9, Sydney Hobson is projected to be your starting third baseman. I know she's dealing with an injury right now here towards the end of the preseason, and so hopefully she'll be okay to start the season. And you'll probably see her towards the bottom of the order playing third base. And then, finally, to round out the last 2, Lauren Duffy, who, as a junior, now Duffy could see some time in the circle as well for North Brunswick, but also Duffy, hitting the ball with some authority in the preseason, so you hope to see that continue into the regular season. So you have Duffy there. And, of course, part of that Lady Raiders lineup will be Cassidy Speed, who is a senior. Cass, got off to a hot start last year, and, so that really kind of helped her propel throughout the course of the season. And so Cassidy Speed, who will play some outfield for the Lady Raiders, will also be a part of the equation here. So, look out for Cassidy as part of that senior group that's going to try to lead the Lady Raiders to victory here. And you could also see Mia Colon, who's a sophomore, get some at-bats as well. So I'm trying to think, 8 and 9. Like I said, I think you could see Duffy at 7, 8, or 9. And like I said, you'll see Cologne sprayed in there as well. Now, the Lady Raiders are only carrying 4 on the bench to start the year. So we'll see if the starters, pretty much stay in there the whole time, or will Mary Rossi sprinkle in her bench players every so often. So that is pretty much the lay of the land in terms of the lineup. It's a lineup, like I said, that should be able to pick up their share of hits and score some runs, to give the pitchers, being Tara Jennings and Lauren Duffy, giving them a chance. I should mention Tara at the plate at least. You'll see her, and I think she hit the ball with some authority here in this last preseason game. So hopefully you see that going into the season as well. Now, as far as the defense, I have no qualms about the defense. I think the defense will, be good to go here. So I think defensively, I think the Lady Raiders will be fine. Yeah, you're going to see an occasional error here or there probably, but I think for the most part, I think you'll see that defensively, they'll be a solid unit. In terms of the pitching, which is, I think, the number one thing here for this North Brunswick team. Now, I mentioned at the top, there's high expectations for this team this year, higher than what they've been since 2010, when they won 13 games. So this year, the pitching, and you could say this about any team at any time, but it truly is a poignant, remark here with this team, is that this team will go as far as the pitching takes them. And in the case of, again, Tara Jennings and Lauren Duffy will be your pitchers. And whoever can take the bull by the horns, and whoever can lead their team onto the field and then get 3 outs and lead their team back into the dugout, that's who's going to lead the charge for this Lady Raiders team. Jennings has certainly had her moments. I remember her freshman year when she made her varsity debut and she struck out 11 JFK batters. And you're not necessarily expecting to see Tara strike out 11 every game, but if she can just get outs, make contact and have the batters hit it to the right spots and let the defense work and get outs, that's when Tara will be at her most effective. And Lauren has more height than Tara does, so she's probably could be a little more imposing in the circle, if you will, and she can probably use that to her advantage and, you know, try to zip in some strikes, get ahead in the count, that type of thing, and, you know, carry it from there. So, you know, that's really where the turning point for me of this team is going to be. Can the pitching support, because we talk all the time about pitchers getting run support, but can the hitters on this team get the pitching support that they're going to need to, you know, get from one game to the next? Not going to be an easy division. You know, JFK, you know, they always, you know, especially with, you know, Olivia Sims there, or Jill Sims, you know, they're going to be tough. South Plainfield and Jill Holoboski pitching for them. She won 17 games last year for South Plainfield. Don Panzarella, in 36 some odd years, has never had a losing season. So South Plainfield, always tough, always, you know, tough to deal with. So that's going to be an issue too. You know, Sayreville, I know Sayreville, Colonial Woodbridge, I know those teams have been down. So the Lady Raiders should be, you know, Perth Amboy has struggled. So the Lady Raiders should be okay there. But, you know, I think your two contenders really here, South Plainfield and JFK, if the Lady Raiders can get by those teams, then they'll have a chance here to win their first division title in the GMC White Division, their first division title since winning their only division title in 1990. So that's where you are right now, you know, with the Lady Raiders, and just kind of a short landscape of the GMC White Division. So with that, I will sign off here for our brief softball preview. And of course, the season opens up Monday, April 1st here at Raiders Field, weather permitting. It's supposed to rain Sunday. So Monday, April 1st, weather permitting, the Lady Raiders will take on Sayreville. Game time is scheduled for 3:45. Raiders Live pregame at 3:20. We will talk to head coach Mary Rossi in her preseason interview before the game, and then we'll get you going. So thank you guys for listening in. Be sure to tune into our other videos on our YouTube channel here, including our baseball preview with the Raiders baseball team, and also, you know, our other videos where we'll have our highlight clips from both softball and baseball. You know, like I said, if you're interested in, you know, what we're doing here, be sure to click subscribe, the little red button there. You click subscribe, and you'll be tuned into what we're doing on our YouTube channel. I'm revamping the YouTube channel, which was dead as a doornail, and I just decided to revamp it. So with that being said, this is Korbid Thompson from Raiders Field here in North Brunswick, saying goodbye, Godspeed. Thank you guys for listening again. You know, be sure to tune into our other videos as well, and we thank you guys for listening in.